Oh man. Hello, my friends. Let me start by addressing the elephant in the room, which is that I got a suit. Honestly, there's really not that much behind it besides I was laying in bed the other day. I was about to go to sleep and I was thinking to myself, man, I really like suits. I wish I could wear a suit. And that's a thought that I have had time and time again over different parts of my life. And I realized, why am I not doing the thing that I want to do here? It's a weird level of suppression that I don't usually do to myself. But we're still rocking the socks with Birkenstocks because that's the most comfortable thing for me sensory-wise. All right, kick the bucket. No, I did not just kick the bucket. I set the bucket back in place. That negates the kick. Big piece. I also didn't like that piece that I showed you guys last week with the purple face. So I have started covering it, and I'm reworking this piece, but I don't. It's been sitting on the ground for several days because. Let's paint. Oh, there's the first paint on this suit. Trying to think to myself, what color do I feel right now? Feels very staticky, very. When you don't know what to do, you just grab and go. Have you guys noticed? I do a lot of X's instinctively. That's what I think of that. And so it has begun. You guys saw it here first. I'm feeling very low contrast, very light. Okay. I think I'm seeing something really quite interesting come out of this canvas right now. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to pause. I'm going to let myself think things through a little bit and mull on this image in my head and see if it's worth pursuing. I'm sure everybody knows this, but starting a painting is always the hardest part of painting, in my opinion. So it's good that we have that done with. We have that already started. Now here's the trouble. The canvas on this frame is a little loose, and when I turned it 90 degrees like I did, now the canvas is in the direction it was originally hanging, which means it's loose again. I was planning on painting it at 90 degrees, so then I could, it just wouldn't like be as wobbly or whatever when I was painting. Piece had other things in mind, so there's still a long ways to go on this. This is just some slashes, just sort of a raw emotional dump. Get a beginning, get things. Just I don't know though, dude. Like. I think inherently, because it's a visual language, words do not measure up because it's different type of language, visual versus verbal. And so any words that I can put to it are like talking around the subject, not really getting at the core actual thing. So that is just... Man, one of the things that I struggle with the most in terms of like my sensory stuff, I mean, obviously, I think it's the hearing is the worst, but temperature regulation is a major one for me because I'm always either hot or cold or whatever. But this fucking manages it for me, dude. It's so nice. It's so nice. I have 11 pockets. A pen pocket, this pocket, these two pockets. I have this pocket, front pockets in the pants, which are so many pockets. I can store so many things. So that's where we're at right now. I might be doing more painting on this later. You know, I always overlay a high resolution image, but I still feel the need to grab it to show you guys because I feel like, you know, we're friends. We're here together. But anyways, this is the piece that I did this week. It's all done. I did it in, I think, a day. It started with a crazy base, just like this one. And then I went over it again later in the day. And I let that dry. And then I went over it again at night. And then it was done. I really like this piece a lot because it felt very different when I was painting it. Even though it might look similar to a lot of the stuff that I've done before. The difference here is that I never tried... I've talked to you about letting the image arise from the canvas and not trying to do outlines. But that's an approach I've been working on continuously. It's not like I mastered it immediately when I realized it. But second of all, like here the difference was not just did I not apply an outline, I didn't even try to overly define the figure. I tried to define the figure as much as it helps the expression of what I'm feeling. Whereas usually I would have done much more layers and much more building up of a surface to try to over define or maybe just define a figure. You know what I'm saying? Whereas here I didn't try to do that. I just tried to paint what I felt and saw out of the painting itself, and then only remove as much noise as was necessary to convey the figure without trying to go and do too much. That's this piece. I feel like for me, it's a new depth of understanding in my own work, which I'm very excited for. It's a big reason, like that specifically, is why I've chosen to do a really large piece this time, because I want to try to push into that idea and explore that as a little bit deeper than that one that I did there. I think the lack of previous texture is going to do a lot for this piece also, because I'm learning to use texture. a lot more intentionally and effectively. You know what I'm saying? Let me grab a seat. Woo! I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the context of the week. Of course, I went to the thrift store and I got these 2 suits. I also got some Christmas lights, so we can have some Christmas lights on our house. I've been getting super into old noir films to sort of extend my interest in Johnny Dollar, which I am still very much enjoying as a radio program to this day. But the films themselves are also quite interesting because they deal with kind of the same subjects. You know, generally like crime mystery type subjects with detectives and things like that. But now there's interesting lighting. There's the overacting, of course, because that's just kind of what happens from movies from the 40s and 50s. But it's still excellent. My favorite part of it is really just watching the lighting and the storylines. Honestly, those movies, I don't know why. Maybe it's because they were still so close to radio as a medium. But like you can basically listen to them as a radio program, but they have like the movie aspect with it, and it has just beautiful lighting because it was black and white. So all they really had to work with was that. We'll throw it out there right now, a little bit early in the video. Album of the week. The movie The Big Combo. It was made sometime in the 50s. Don't ask me the actual year. But it's a really good movie about Mr. Brown and Diamond. I think it's Detective Diamond. Very interesting. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. The Big Combo. Again, check it out. It's interesting. I feel like for the first time, I'm not really looking elsewhere for lessons right now. We've talked a lot in these videos about like learning from Picasso and Basquiat and David Cho and these people that I very much respect. But I feel like I've hit a point where I have a direction that things are presenting in, and I want to follow that direction, and I want to play. And, you know, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I'm getting to a point where for right now, I don't really have anybody that I'm looking to study, which creates a slight, a feeling of unease in the sense of you're in your own territory right now. You're not trying for anything specific. You're not doing anything other than exploring your own instinct. But that's also a good place to be. That's the most exciting place to be. That's where that painting that I showed you guys earlier came from. Like that's that same place that came from. That's the place that I'm trying to approach this from. It's also why I'm not sitting here and painting for a super long time with you guys, just because I've built up an incredible amount of comfortability on camera at this point. I mentioned this before, so I'll only say it briefly. The camera just ultimately affects the painting somehow the act of being observed, even if I'm only just filming myself, changes the work. So you'll notice I have been doing a lot more painting without actually having video of it. I have no video of that painting that I did earlier this week because it stemmed from just wanting to paint and just wanting to do the work. So that's where I've been at. Just very much. First of all, I have been very stoked on getting some suits, but then also just really being absorbed in painting. I ain't gonna lie, I'm quite warm right now. Take off the headphones. Whoa. I'm so used to doing these with headphones on that when I take them off, it feels very weird to hear myself talking at the volume that I'm talking at. And it feels very weird just hearing my voice in general as consistently as I am putting it out, considering I don't speak that many words verbally in a given day. I talk probably as many words out loud during these videos as I do all week. Dude, I feel like my brain is so imprecise today. That is much better. Okay. Oh, I totally forgot. That's the thing that I've been super stoked to talk to you guys about. I have tickets to the Colorado Symphony in March. Well, I got one ticket because my wife wasn't really interested in going with me. And also my son is a little bit too small, so it would be sort of hard to bring him with. So on March 7th, I'm going to go see Beethoven's Eroica performed by the Colorado Symphony in Denver, which I am very excited about. It's been a really big goal of mine. I know it might not sound like anything crazy, and it really isn't. But I haven't done anything purely socially, anything just for the pure enjoyment of it, with no errand behind it, in multiple years at this point, I think. So the fact that I am going to do this, it's a big step for me. I'm really excited about it. I feel weird without the structure of my jacket. Doodly boop. Doodly boop. Okay. All right, my friends. We are facing another camera overheat, so I'm just going to call it right here. I hope that you all have a wonderful week. I hope that you will consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, because both things help me greatly. And I hope you'll check out the big combo. It's excellent. Peace. Why do I say that? That doesn't even... Goodbye now.